Do you ever wonder how you can attract monarch butterflies to your garden? Hi, I'm Heidi from Garden Crossings, and today I'm in our butterfly house. This is a greenhouse that we have converted into a butterfly sanctuary. Specifically, we're raising the monarch butterflies in here. And we have this butterfly house loaded with milkweed or Asclepias, which is the host plant for the monarch butterflies. They lay their eggs on it, they eat the leaves as their food, and then once they've done that, those big juicy caterpillars go off and create a chrysalis, which then in turn turns into a butterfly. We started off with about 200 caterpillars this year, and finally we've had about 2 or 3 rounds. We're in our 3rd round right now, and finally it's really populated and exploded with beautiful butterflies. There are hundreds of them in right now, and this is the point of year where we want to also release them. We want to let these creatures go out into the wild, into their natural habitat, and do what monarch butterflies are supposed to do. So we're going to go ahead and show you a release. We've captured about 150 or so of them, and we're going to release them out into our gardens. But before we head out and do that butterfly release, we're going to take a look here in the butterfly house and just show you kind of what's going on, what we've planted, what it looks like, and what we do to continue to keep these guys fed with milkweed. So let's go ahead and take a walk through the butterfly house. It's mid-July right now, and it's also mid-morning. And when I was in here a little bit earlier, they were all kind of hanging out at the top of the greenhouse. But now that it's starting to warm up a little bit, they've become more active and are kind of fluttering all about and checking out all of the various plants. They really love hanging out on the butterfly bush. Although butterfly bush is not a, let's say, host plant for the butterflies, they love to go to it for their pollen and nectar source. Another favorite is the Allium millennium or serendipity. Both would do the same. They are hanging out here quite a bit as well because, again, a great pollinator plant for these monarch butterflies. Now, you can't just have pollinator plants in your garden. If you want to continue to raise the monarchs, you have to have milkweed. And here is a giant milkweed that is in the greenhouse right now. And one thing you'll notice about this milkweed is there's not a lot of leaves on it. So with the last cycle of caterpillars, they ate this plant nearly down to nothing. So there was literally hardly any leaves on it. We know that happens, so we have potted Asclepias out in the greenhouses that we rotate in the greenhouse here in the butterfly greenhouse so that they have that constant supply of food. So while this one here is trying to put on more growth, it's really hard to do because this is planted in the ground, so they continue to eat it as fast as it grows. So what we do is like I said, we'll switch pots in and out. And we actually, our big pots that we had planted specifically for here were starting to be very bare and have not yet filled out in the greenhouse. So we have to bring in some of our stock plants, and I got to show you this. I just saw this. So I'm having a squirrel moment. Look at all of those butterflies. This is a milkweed. So we bring in stock plants like we're seeing here, and we'll just set them in the greenhouse. So these are our 4.5-inch pots. These would be similar to what we're selling online. So we'll just bring trays of these in, and as these get defoliated, we'll bring in more. Any eggs that are laid and caterpillars that hatch will definitely have plenty of food to eat. So there's no starving going on here. We plant thousands of milkweed seedlings to sell online and also for in here in the butterfly house. So we keep these guys good and fed because we want to keep their cycle of life going. And like I said, just be able to reach and release as many as we can out into nature. This is just gorgeous. At first I thought this was a butterfly bush when I was peeking over and saw all these butterflies on it. But right now they're just really enjoying the flowers. Sometimes what I'll do is I'll watch to see if they're laying eggs at all, which right now they're not laying eggs. They're just enjoying the flowers. So I'll try to see if we can find any laying eggs as we're walking through today. We also have a lot of dill in here, and that is for hopes of finding some black swallowtails. So far we've not found black swallowtails, so we haven't been able to bring them in here. But there's a lot of dill and fennel also, and the problem is it gets so messy and so large, but we just leave it and let it go. Because if we do find those black swallowtails, we're going to need the food for them as well. So this time of year it gets wild in here. It's kind of like a jungle, but that's okay. So what all do we have in here besides the milkweed, which is the host plant for those monarchs? We have petunias. Not only does petunias give a lot of color in the butterfly house, but they're also a plant that the butterflies will enjoy. Butterfly bush, as we saw earlier. This one here is a pugster butterfly bush. It's a little bit smaller in size, only about 2 foot tall. You can see that butterfly enjoying it right now. We have Spiraea. This blooms earlier in the season, so for those early season butterflies, they'll enjoy those Spiraea flowers. More milkweed, and this one actually, there's a lot of caterpillars I can show you on here. And this is kind of interesting. Let's see if it'll focus. There's various stages of caterpillars, so different sizes that are represented, which is nice because in the past it felt like all of our caterpillars were all or nothing, meaning they were all big or they were all small. So that really we'd have butterflies like boom butterflies and then no butterflies. But because of these caterpillars kind of being in various sizes and stages, that's helping us continue to have butterflies every week opposed to just when they're booming like what's happening right now. It's more of the pugster butterfly bush. And they're just enjoying it, hanging out here in the corner. There's a lot of them hanging out on those plants. Here's another set of milkweed that we brought in. More pots, and you can see they quickly find the plant that they know is their host plant. They don't mess around. They know where to go and they know what's meant for them, which I think is very cool how, nature, animals in nature, they know where they need to be, they know what they need to do, and they know that they know the plants that are meant for them. We've got some sedum in here, which is a late season bloomer. Oh, actually, here's a butterfly that just emerged from its chrysalis. Right now it's drying its wings, so it's going to hang there for a while and dry. And then once its wings are all dried, it'll be up and flying around with its friends. We also have little puddlers in here. So these are just little water stations so that if they get thirsty, there's these little puddlers. There's rocks they can stand on and drink the water from. So there's various different puddlers throughout because not only do they need their food, they need their water as well. Sometimes they'll just hang out on plants like they are here on this Coleus just to rest, and sometimes even just to enjoy a little bit of shade. So not only will you find them on their actual plants that their host plants are, their pollinator plants, they'll enjoy some shade time as well. That's one thing I often find with this huge Miss Molly butterfly bush that we have is they're hanging out on the flowers, but they're also inside the plant getting a little reprieve from the sun. See all that movement and all that action. I know a lot of people will, say butterfly bush, they're not a host plant and they're not what the butterflies need and all of that. And I'm not telling you this is a host plant. It's definitely not a host plant. But it is a plant that is valuable in your garden, especially if you are looking to create a pollinator garden or a butterfly garden, because there's no doubt you can see the butterflies are all over these butterfly bush. Another plant they love are coneflowers. Here we've got some coneflowers and they're just hanging out all over the coneflowers. So if you have coneflowers in your garden, that's a great choice for the pollinators. It's also good for the songbirds because once these flowers fade, they leave the seeds behind and the songbirds will enjoy the seeds as well. So a lot happening right now. Marissa's out there in the back corner and she's gathering some butterflies to be released later on. So we'll be doing a release here in just a minute to show you just letting them go in nature, and so they can go off, spread their wings, and literally fly away and create the next generation of monarch butterflies out in nature. So that's the reason we do this is, there's so much talk about the decline of the monarch butterfly and what can we do as a population to help the monarchs. And it's simply raising them, having a way station in your garden. What that means is a place that has Asclepias and milkweed in it, a place that has pollinator plants, a place where you can attract the monarchs to your yard, feed them so that they will continue their next generations. So let's head outside and do a butterfly release. This is just always so magical when we go outside and do this. We got a couple hundred butterflies in here, and we are going to go ahead now and release them out into the gardens at Garden Crossings. So not only do we have the milkweed inside the butterfly house, all of the gardens around here too have also been planted up with milkweed for the monarch butterflies. My guess is they're going to head to the allium. They're going to head to a lot of the things that are flowering right now. So we're going to go ahead and release these beauties and let them take off into nature and enjoy the rest of their life cycle. So let's go ahead and unzip, not unwind, but unzip. It's amazing when freedom's in front of them that sometimes they can be so shy. Sometimes you got to give them just a little extra nudge to help them escape. Sometimes I think too, they just don't know what to do. So sometimes we'll just kind of rub our hands on the edge, get underneath their feet, and watch them go. For those of you too who are not familiar with monarch butterflies, I'm going to go ahead and show you too how to know if your monarch butterfly is a male or female. So we're going to come in closer here and take a look at some and see if we can show you. What we're looking for is typically, so this one here, that's a female. You'll notice there's not 2 dots on the lower set of wings. Let's see if this one will open up and show. This one is a male. You'll see there's 2 dots on the lower set of wings once he opens them up again for us. See the dots there? That signifies that it's a male. So if you're looking to breed the monarchs, you do need obviously a male and a female to do that with. One thing sometimes we'll do is we'll try to get the females out of the butterfly house if we're able to pay attention to what they are, and just let them go and lay eggs in various other gardens. If we have time to be specific about who we're pulling out. But a lot of times, especially when they've blown up like what just happened here in the last few days, we're just getting as many as we can and are releasing them out into nature. Let's go ahead and give the bag another shake. Watch them fly out. I'm going to grab this other phone out of the bottom. We don't want to shake that. Just give them a little nudge to find their way to freedom. So we'll go in there again a little bit later on and get some more butterflies and get them ready to get released as well. So this is the fun thing. The fun thing with raising them is being able to raise them and release them and watch them as they just check out the gardens. Like looking down here into the garden here next to me, they're all over the hydrangeas right now. There's one on the allium, a couple of them are there in the allium. And it's fun. It's fun, especially in another hour or so, we'll come out and walk around and just see where they're hanging out. So we've got a few more releases to do, so we'll be doing those as well. But this has been fun. I hope you enjoyed the tour of the butterfly house and watching the release of the butterflies today. If you have any questions or comments, please feel free to leave them in the comment section below. Thanks for watching. I'm Heidi from Garden Crossings.